Hi, I'm Bob Riccardino. I'm the manager of the Environmental Services here at Catherine Cook School in Chicago, Illinois. Here's one of my favorite pieces. This is 100% linseed oil board as compared to a cork board. Cork board, over its 15 years of life, will give off formaldehyde gases. This does not. It's all natural. What's nice too is when you pull the nail or staple out, it reheals itself. So this will last. It's a little more expensive. It's called FOBA board. It's a little more expensive, but the kids aren't breathing formaldehyde gas. So we have these throughout the school, and we're in the midst of 6 weeks left of school, so I'm going to cover with all kinds of projects. So here's the first one I could see that isn't fully covered. But this is linseed oil-based board, all natural. What we did as part of energy and saving on every level, look at every level possible, we redesigned the washrooms with the best hand dryers you can get. They only use energy when you're underneath them. If you're not underneath them, it automatically cuts out. So we're saving energy there. We have water reducing toilets, urinals, and multi-use sink, so both can use it. And they have limited water supply, so we're conserving our water. I have 72 faucets in the school, and what we did to conserve water and save a lot of energy and gas is we went to hot water on demand system, one specially built for our school to take care of getting hot water from 7 o'clock in the morning till whenever we need it at night, but during the weekend it shuts down and goes to sleep, kind of like I do. We're going to go upstairs now, and as we walk through the school, what I'd like to show you too is, remember, the school is not a school, it was a shoe factory. It was B&B insole shoe factory. You can see a recycling bin. We have them strategic. The recycling bins are strategically placed because everybody goes, oh, we recycle. The question is, what do you recycle? Not, oh yes, we recycle. No, what are you recycling? So you want to look at what's coming in your building as far as what's going out. So you're going to see cans throughout the building strategically placed. Come on up, we're going up to the roof, guys, where it all happens. When we started putting in the renewable energy components, we put a fence here because we actually teach classes up here. So the kids are actually seeing the renewable energy, touching it, so that they can get a grasp of it, as where, you know, when you get wind turbine, everybody goes, when's your payback? That's the key. We're not in it for payback. Our payback is going to be 20 years from now, because we're preschool through 8th grade, when they are actually designing this stuff and using this stuff. Let's go over to the solar panel array. This is a 1 kilowatt solar display, and this is all we have in solar panel right now. Reason being is those 2 buildings over there are going to be torn down this summer, and we're enlarging our school to be an L-shaped school because we own those 2 buildings across the street, so we're enlarging the school. So once we enlarge the school and we replace all the HVAC, we're going to be able to see how much more space I have and how many more solar panels I can put up. The solar panels were from the state of Illinois on a grant that I wrote to get that, and it was very generous. This is a 1 kilowatt solar panel, and when we get downstairs I'll show you what we use it for. It's actually used every day and night in the school use.
Can you just start by telling me a little bit about the history of why you decided to install a wind turbine and solar system, how you got funding for it, and how you got support for it?
We got a grant for the solar panels, and the state gave us $10,000, and we put in approximately about $1,200 and the space for it. Seeing that and seeing how it worked, it was much easier to go for another grant to get my wind turbine. In getting the wind turbine, we're thinking about a smaller one, and then we thought, let's go with the bigger one. That's a 4 kilowatt, which is a pretty nice size. It would probably power about 2 rooms, one for sure, if not 2 rooms. But again, we're not interested in the payback of it. We're interested in the teaching of renewable energy to the children, because their minds at preschool through 8th grade are so open, and we really have a good time teaching the class.
Could you tell me a little bit about how you had to work with the city as far as zoning
Yes.
for the systems?
Yes, anything you do within the building envelope, you have to have permits. We have permitted for the wind turbine and the solar panels. And it's such a permit that adding on to it now, I would not have to get another permit because they know what we're doing. And when our well-designed wind turbine, right before that was a water tower. Took that down, it was almost approximately the same height. So we replaced something useful with a tower. The water tank, which was wood, shows you how old the building is, was taken down long before we were around. But we don't, since we have a fire suppression system, we don't need the gravity water tower.
And so my last question is more about, you mentioned the classes that you bring up here in the middle school. Can you talk about how you work with students and how that they use these systems in their curriculum to learn different things?
Yes, we go from we have preschool up here too. Preschool, the chart, and it's available to everyone on computer for these solar panels, how much we're taking in, how much power we're taking in. Well, a preschooler is of age 3, 4. They don't comprehend calculations or kilowatts. What the program shows them is how many trees we have acted for, or how many cars we've taken off the street with their pollution. And so they can go, and there it goes, it's going. See, you brought us luck. It's finally turning. I felt my hair is moving. I figured it's got to be moving sometime. So what we do for preschool, they can go home, and they go home because their parents stop me and say, Bob, what do you mean you're taking 3 cars off the street? It says, the amount of energy we created without using fossil fuels is 3 cars today of what we collected of sun. Or we powered 3 homes by what we collected today. That's for preschool. As we get up through the grades and finally get to middle school, 8th grade, they know the kilowatts, and they incorporate it into their math class on what it's doing, how much it's doing, and we have opened up our energy bills, Commonwealth Edison bills, to them and say, well, look at how much it says we're using. And they have been able to draw the line of decreasing dependency power. It's not a huge amount, but it's somewhere to start. We're taking that first step, and that's what really kicks it off. So the 8th grade know the mechanical numbers of it. The preschool know that it's eliminating the fumes from an automobile. Okay, we're on the 3rd floor, which is the middle school floor. And right now, this is showing the use of the wind turbine. This is how we monitor the wind turbine. And as you can see, in the 12-month period, it's good. Right now, it just started turning as we were up there, so it really hasn't registered anything. It would do like a bar graph. This is what can be checked anytime here by middle school, which is 7th and 8th grade. Also back here, there are a couple plugs. They can recharge their computers, because we're a one-to-one laptop program, by these, or any other battery-powered instrument they're using. So the use of their computers is being recharged by renewable energy. We're going to go downstairs and look at the 2nd floor one now. As I told you, we have a one-to-one laptop computer program. There's no class in here right now, but with the amount of light given off by the laptops, do you really need every light in the school on? These are teachers who now work with that same feeling that, let's not have it bright on bright, just, what the children need to see. and not put them in dark, but to watch. So this would be like a typical classroom. This is a third grade class. Okay, here we are on our second floor Renewable Energy Center. Again, this is the computer that monitors the wind turbine and shows. So once the wind turbine gets kicked up, you'll be able to see a bar graph to it. These are directly wired into the wind turbine and the solar panels. One's wind, one's solar. What we do here is rechargeable batteries. So anything, clocks, radios, anything we need recharged. Our radios we use, we recharge them on here, and at night we get a tray of laptop computers, plug them in here and recharge them. And these are only designated from the wind turbine and the solar panels. So renewable, renewable, and renewable again. And as you see, the children have been here. They write down if they take a battery or if a teacher takes a battery. It's the honor system, and again, to me it shows that the children are really into this because they're returning the battery. They'll stop me and I'll say, Bob, I put some batteries in the recharge cage. Great. I said, did you take what you needed though? Of newer batteries, so they know to keep reusing them.
Bill Mirish, Director of Information Technology. For us, we see any kind of green initiative, especially with technology, for the school overall as a partnership that has to be enduring and sustainable. Technology winds up consuming an awful lot of resources. We do have to have some kind of an eye on what happens at end of life, but also on beginning of life. Where do the devices come from? What happens while we're using them in the school? So we try to make sure that our purchases we try to make sure that the partners that we have in purchasing have some sort of a green ethos going into the process. On the infrastructure side, we've moved away from having a large quantity of physical servers. Virtualization is a buzzword that everybody likes to use. For us, the virtualization has really reduced our footprint dramatically. We've gone from having about 14 physical servers running, and the need to cool and power all of those is huge. So we've really reduced that footprint down. Now we have 2 physical boxes that we run, and that obviously is taken 12 servers offline and brought us down to 2. Huge power decrease, but more importantly, it means we don't have to cool the space nearly as much. So there's another energy savings there, and plus cooling is probably going to be more polluting for us even than the power that we're just consuming to keep the devices running. So on those ends, it's also sharing the educational mission that the school has. So with all of the many devices we have to have a lot of batteries sometimes for remotes, or some kind of a device like a camera or a video camera that goes out in the field. Well, we moved away from having disposable batteries and into a rechargeable program. Otherwise, we're just throwing stuff into a landfill and we're spending money upon money, where realistically we already have the means here to recharge those batteries, and with a lot of the efforts already being made with facilities, a lot of the energy options we have going into that are green choices with having wind and solar power available. So with that, we try to teach the students sort of a direct one-to-one relationship. If we're recharging something, what power does it take to do that charge? And then on the flip side, what are we actually producing ourselves more sustainably, more efficiently, and with less pollution? So we do keep a data feed running on our actual web page, just so people have some sense more broadly. If you want to look from the outside, anybody can come in and get just a little bit of a sense of what's happening. This is the solar array itself. Obviously, it's a little bit cloudier day, so we're not producing as much, but this is kind of a trajectory last 24 hours. If we take a look at its overall lifespan, I think the nice thing about this is when you're teaching students, you have the opportunity to show them something about cycles of weather even. And those things are really taking a look at the bigger picture and what kind of global impact we have. Down here at the bottom, it also gives us a sense of the actual benefit to the environment. I mean, so what have we done?
The preschoolers, how they can measure, sort of a small child, 3-year-old can relate to what that thing is doing.
So, we've had this up, let's just say, in the last 12 months, realistically, that's pretty much, about the lifespan of the entire thing, and they've only been up a little more than a year. But in that time, our carbon offset's equivalent to that of 27 trees. So you know, that's something tangible for a student, but it's also, you know, the ability to, it says power the following for a day, 49 houses. So, you know, that's tangible, that's real, that's something that we haven't had to consume from a coal burning plant or whatever it may be. And then back over on our wind turbine, you know, a little bit different sort of, yeah. But over here, you know, we can take a look over the last year and get a sense of how much we've produced. This also gives us a little bit of our, you know, CO2, you know, what kind of, you know, pollution footprint we've taken away. So the energy to power a computer basically for a year. But, you know, this is also not the most accurate data right now. We had to take that offline for a period of time. So, but, you know, in the time that we've been tracking the newer data, it's, you know, I like the other one over here. I think also realistically, students might be a little bit more interested in what that means for television. So 725 hours worth of TV off of a wind turbine. I think I would take that if I were a fifth grader.